Ain't gonna be, man. We back another reaction video. You already know what it is, man. Finna react to Oliveira. He investigating the pimps and prostitutes in Las Vegas. Let's get it, man. You already know
this
the
is
bitch
trafficking, everybody.
It's a tit.
On these cars.
This is Annie, a former prostitute on the Vegas Strip who was forced by her pimp to sleep with thousands of men against her will.
The pimp's got every single dollar. I scratched his eyes out. I took a big giant lamp and I smashed it over his head and I ran out of the room totally butt naked.
So he kidnapped me from a
Oh my goodness.
gas station one night and beat the living shit out of me.
Now she runs a non-profit trying to rescue girls just like her. But how does an underground human trafficking ring exist on one of the most popular tourist destinations on Earth? I met up with Annie to find out.
All on cameras and shit there was.
Now we're gonna go to where I used to work.
So Annie, we have the all-seeing eye, the Las Vegas security watching us at every step. How does a underground human trafficking ring exist with all that security?
Because you don't look like you're a victim of trafficking. You wear your little tennis shoes, you walk in, and you act like you're on vacation.
Dang,
Do
boy,
you have
she
people
not
that
lying,
know your
boy.
face, what you look like?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Unfortunately.
So do you get nervous when we go into the casinos?
No.
Okay.
I want to buy your house. I can pay you
Hey, shit, I
cash
been
for
through
your
some
house,
shit, no cap.
no matter what condition it's in.
This is a nightclub that used to be called the Jet Night. No, there used to be a ton of pimps that would hang out there.
And how many pimps are on the strip right now?
Oh, right now, probably, because it's day shift, probably only a couple hundred. Let's go to the bar that I used to hang out at
Let's
to
go.
catch dates.
What would we call them back in your day?
Oh my gosh. So back in the day, we called them Marks, Johns, Tricks.
Meaning a potential customer?
Yes.
How long ago were you in the industry?
Oh my goodness. I quit the escort services in 1998. When I got in, I was a teenager. I
Like
was
16, 17?
18, 19.
Ugh.
Yep. I was not of drinking age. I had fake ID. That used to be a full-fledged bar. You could sit there and you could play video poker and just wait for a man to come up to you to start talking to you, and then you would basically solicit him.
So how do you know someone's in the market to have
1,000.
sex?
Just by the look in their eye, the way they're carrying themselves.
Really?
Yes.
Let's
first.
explain the logistics of hiring an escort. So I see these cars that drive by and they have a phone number.
Yeah.
Yep.
They're advertising that this girl is going to come.
And this is perfectly legal in Las Vegas, right?
It's legal to have a stripper in your room.
So to break down who's involved
Right,
here.
so they really are standing on the corner, handing out flyers for another girl, and she just gonna appreciate that, bruh. She just gonna like get a phone call. And be like, hold on. Another person handing out flyers for another female. A random person gonna hit that female up, and she's just gonna see if she wanna fuck them. Like what?
You, the
Yes.
escort, let's say in the past, and the pimp who is trafficking
Yes.
oftentimes?
Yes.
Or all time?
the time.
Okay.
When my trafficker was my 100% trafficker, he took every single dime I made. It's complete slavery. You can't avoid it because you're brainwashed. They groom you. They make you believe that they're safe, that they're going to take care of you. They have your best interests at heart. They have this whole business plan. I mean, my whole thing was this. I wanted to have my own jewelry store. And so that was his little shtick. He used that against me to make me believe, oh, one day we're going to have our own jewelry store. But I was like, oh, all the money I'm making is being invested into that jewelry
That was the
store.
carrot he dangled over your head?
Yeah, my ex-trafficker would bring these girls to our house, and they were like 13, 14. When I found out how old they were, I shipped them home without his knowledge. He would beat me up.
Your
What you
trafficker
mean you shipped them home? How you ship people?
still out and about?
There's two of them.
So are they still at large?
Yes.
Is-
I honestly hope the best for both of them. One of them shot himself in the head. He's still alive.
Bro,
The second one. And people
I know he can't even do nothing no more. Like, bro, when you mess your head up, bro, it's up.
get so angry, because I was working in the industry itself for 11 years, nonstop, probably 12-hour shifts, 16-hour shifts, depending on how busy it was. I never stopped. But they make you believe that you have control of it. Our nicknames to all the traffickers were this. We were hoes, hookers, bitches. When he was being nice to me, a white bunny, because I was a white girl.
That's what they still is, still to this day.
So white girls command a lot of money. Okay, look right here.
Yeah. You think that's something?
Yes.
Really?
Looks like she's working.
Really? It seems somewhat discreet.
Of course she is. Let's walk over here because
Yeah.
I'm going to show you the craps tables. And in fact, you know what? It looks like there's a girl there right now working. It's quiet, huh? Isn't it? I would sit here, but I would usually sit on the end so I could see the whole
ain't got no
span of
wrong.
the casino over there. sit on the end so I could see the whole span of the casino over there, where that older guy is right there.
So that's when you might target?
Yeah, he would be a potential target for
Older
me.
white guys?
Absolutely. So when a man was potentially sitting around, hanging around, looking for someone like me, I would, hey, here's my number, call me later.
How often
So call me maybe.
will they call back?
And all the other girls.
Always. This is the part that is the worst part about you go into a room and you see a man and he's dressed really nice and he's not bad looking and he seems like a nice person.
Yeah.
But he's calling the escort service. Dude, what are you doing?
Sure.
And then he shows you pictures of his family. Oh, here's my kids. Here. And I would be like, what are you doing? A man putting his hands on you for money, it just adds fuel to the fire. It literally makes it worse. So then your mind literally goes to this place of all men are cheaters.
Sure.
All men want sex. That's all they want. They don't want a relationship. Which I know to be a total lie. I mean, listen, there's weirdos everywhere.
You see what I'm saying? Like, that nigga, Pootie be making sense. Like, he had said, like, people be saying, like, when they be going through shit, they be trying to, like, tell the people, like, they be trying to tell the people, like, so they won't have to go through it. Like, what if they have to go through it so they can be just, like, so they would have to have the same mindset, like, the same mindset, like, so they can get it just, like, that's how it is for most people. Like that.
Where if someone's calling for sex and they're paying for it, what else do they feel like they're entitled to?
Your life?
Rape.
Sure.
You know, some sort of asphyxiation. Maybe someone getting beat up because it turns them on, because porn takes you to a new level. And that's what gets these men to call, is that they get addicted to porn. They start looking at pornography material. They start, you know, engaging. They start like fantasizing. Then they say, oh, I wonder what it would really be like to get someone in real life. Let's try it. And all of a sudden, you're getting a phone call. Go to this room, and the guy opens the door, and he's shaking. He's like, oh my God, oh my God. And I'm like, oh, it's the first time you ever called? They're like, yeah, I've never done this before. Oh, so tell me why you're calling. Well, I've been watching porn for years. I mean, they tell you their story. Or my wife doesn't give me sex, or I'm single, or I'm lonely, or I'm still a virgin. I would have men that would call for their sons to de-virginize them. Isn't that crazy?
Would it be common for an escort to take an underage kid's virginity?
It's happened before.
With you?
I'm not gonna
Yup. If it ain't on no, it's a yup.
say.
Okay, so but people you know.
Yeah, but I do know that the fathers call for their sons to be de-virginized.
Sure.
Especially during a bachelor party. Oh my gosh, I did so many bachelor parties where the man that's getting married has never had experience. So I have to teach
Farming
him.
experience.
The biggest demographic would be older, overweight, married men. I've seen a lot of stars, major male
Why the hell you show the president?
movie stars.
Like Leonardo DiCaprio level?
Yeah, game show hosts,
Jimmy Kimmel.
sports figures.
Steve Harvey.
You guys just keep watching me because I'm tempted to say these names. And also,
She ain't gonna say it.
I would get calls from big CEOs of companies.
Is that valuable blackmail that these women often use for anything?
You could.
Okay.
Now that we have cell phones, I never did that though. I was an honest escort. That hotel right there, see the blue one right there?
Yep.
I went up to the room, he opened up the door. He looked really sketch to me, so I was like,
Nervous.
He didn't look like a buyer. So I said, can I see your ID, sir? He comes whipping back out with a flipping gun, a .357 Magnum stub nose.
Okay.
Pulled it on me and,
Yeah, you a gun
and then threw my
specialist.
clothes out the window. Yep. I fell in love with one of the guys. It was right at the end of my escort career. He was actually an actor, and he is a very famous actor, actually.
Interesting.
And he tripped me out because he told me he liked me too, and that he was willing to work with me to help me get out of the business. And I was getting coke for him. So I was calling my coke dealer, getting coke for him. I was with him for for 2 weeks.
Believe it or not, I believe her.
And he broke my heart because I thought, you know what? This guy seems like he really cares. He really is into me. He's very sweet. He's good looking. I mean, he's been in movies. I'll just give you a clue with Demi Moore. Very sweet. He's good looking. I mean, he's been in movies. I'll just give you a clue with Demi Moore. He gave me his number. Called him up. I was like, hey. Girlfriend answered the phone.
Oh.
I said, who's this? She goes, well, who are you? And I told her who it was.
Oh.
I said, this is Fallon. Your fiance, which you claim you have, was paying me for sex. I told her.
Jeez, okay.
I was crying. I was pretty upset.
That's sad.
And I was like, within a couple days, like legitly fell in love with this guy.
I
And
see.
I told my second ex-pimp, I said, I'm gonna leave you. And the only way I got out of that relationship was because my brother came with a shotgun and said, you're
Hey,
pack.
lad.
And my ex-pimp watched me pack my thing.
Your brother saved you.
And one of my girlfriends, she was a phone girl. Yeah.
Now, as you listen to Annie's story, you might be wondering, why didn't she leave the industry earlier?
It's called trauma bonding. It's when an abuser recognizes that the person that they're dealing with has had a lot of trauma, and they bond because of that trauma. So a trafficker is very smart. They can see that there's been a disruption in their personal life as a child. They weren't treated correctly growing up, so they never really had a father figure, or they didn't have a mother figure, or they were from a broken home, or they've come from poverty. Look, the thing is with the traffickers is if someone's already abused this child, half of their job is done.
So
it's a setup. You
These women are
understand?
primed to be
They're
trafficked.
primed.
And can you explain what your first and second trafficker predated on? The qualities they saw in you that made you eligible for trafficking?
Just, I think insecurity.
Okay.
And not thinking I was beautiful enough or loved enough, and naivety. I trusted everybody. I didn't believe anyone was trying to get me. It's like I really felt like I was smart, that I had my life together, that I knew what I was doing with my money, that I...
And so here's a big question that I don't understand. Were you making the money that you brought home for a time, and then out of nowhere did your pimp start taking it all from
Yes,
you?
I
How
know.
long were you making your own money?
Oh, at least a half a year.
And then he said,
Then
hey,
he
I'm
knew
gonna
me.
take 80%
No,
of that?
he just took it all the first night.
With physical violence,
Here in Las
persuasion?
Vegas, yes. I was beaten almost to death that night. It was horrible. It was probably one of the most worst experiences of my life to realize the man that I trusted, the man that I put all my cards on the table for, the man that I believed in, the man that I loved deeply, would have died for, was now hitting me, beating me, telling me I was just his hoe, and that he's my pimp now, and this is the way it's gonna be.
And was
Dang.
it almost like a switch flip that day that you
Yes.
never saw out of him?
Yes, and I don't want to start crying about it
Yeah.
because I think of that young girl back then. I think of how naive I was and how innocent I was inside my heart. I did not want any man to treat me like that, but I fell for it. And I wanted to leave, but I couldn't because he threatened me. Now, why don't girls...
Yeah.
It's all about control. It's all about isolation, coercion, and control. It's all about keeping that person in a subservient position where they cannot leave. No ID, no bank account, you don't own anything. You basically work for that slave master. You're enslaved.
And a lot of people think you're living this lavish life, you're dressed up, you're glamorous. Does any of that life exist? Is that real? Or is it an illusion and he can take it away from you at any point?
It's an illusion, and he will take it away from you at any point. I got kidnapped back too. He cut all my hair off, buzzed it off, and with the clippers, and in front of 6 pimps. And they brought the girls there because I left my trafficker, and he didn't like it. And I was running around town with a brand new car, and it was very disrespectful to the game. So he kidnapped me from a gas station one night and beat the living
Dang, so she had a chance to just get her bread and get up out of there and just move on type shit.
out of me. Any pimp that a girl leaves, it makes them look bad.
These girls working the streets, they're working 12, 16-hour days, and very few of them are actually bringing home any money. Why do they work so hard?
It's part of the trauma bond with the trafficker, and they have to prove themselves to the trafficker that they can make the most money. And so because of that, they'll stay out as long as it takes to make their quota. A quota is a trap. It's the amount that the pimp told each person to make. Like, let's say mine was $3,000 or $4,000 or $5,000. If I didn't make that money, I couldn't come home.
What would happen if you didn't make that money?
You'd stay out.
If you didn't stay out though and you came home without that money, would you get assaulted?
Yes.
Okay.
You
So-
can get assaulted, or you get, basically, you get told you're not gonna have sex tonight, or you don't get a hug tonight, you don't get a kiss tonight. You're desperate to be loved. You have no self-esteem. You think that you are a whore. You believe that no one could ever love you.
Annie, you mentioned other girls were trafficked at the same house you were at. How many girls would a pimp have, and would he use multiple women as leverage to
Of
deprive
course.
you of affection and love?
Yes, that's the whole game of a trafficker, is to get your mind on the other girls in the stable, the family, to make you feel jealous, to make you feel unheard, to make you feel in competition. So they use those relationships like a teeter-tot. Oh, well, she'll do this if I do this with this other girl. Maybe I'll have sex with her one night, and I won't have sex with her one night, and then I'll make it seem like I don't love her anymore, and all of a sudden, she's making bank. Because now she believes if she brings home more money, he's gonna give her more attention, because that's what we think. Even though it sounds absolutely ridiculous, we think it. A lot of those pimps are from broken families that they never had a childhood, or their childhood was gang life, or their childhood was no father, or no mother, or an orphan, or
whatever it looks like, or abuse. I mean, poverty, you know?
Is that what you found? Did your pimps have those backgrounds?
My pimp had poverty background, and his father left when he was 4 years old.
Okay.
My ex-pimp. He never knew his daddy. I was my trafficker's punching bag. I was the evil that he couldn't speak of, because I'm a woman.
Yeah, you loved him, and he allegedly loved you.
I loved him with all my being and all my heart and my soul. I would have married him, unfortunately.
And that's part of the grooming and the complex trauma that people don't understand.
They don't get it, because when you love someone, you'll do anything for them. You'll die for them.
Would you have died for him at some point?
Yes,
Yeah.
I would have. You can't see it from here, but there's one that I was at, beyond that one right there, the blue one, that I was throwing
Believe it or not, I believe him.
out on the 22nd story window. They tried to throw me out. The window opened up all the way. Tried to throw me out, and I held on, and I scratched his eyes out, and I hung on to him, and I took a big giant lamp, and I smashed it over his head, and I ran out of the room, totally butt naked.
This story not making no sense, no doubt.
This was my trick.
So Annie, we're walking through right here to show the point of there are a lot of high-end shopping centers here. Some of your tricks would buy you gifts in the form of a bag.
Yep, a bag or an outfit, jewelry, clothing.
High-end stuff, though.
Yeah, always designer.
And this is a tip?
Yeah.
Why is that your tip?
Because they don't want to give you cash.
Why not?
Because they don't want it to be traced. They would spend cash for these gifts. That way they weren't traceable by credit card.
Okay.
Then they would say, oh, I just gambled it. And they'd be like, oh, okay. They totally believed them.
Most people hiring an escort have no idea these girls are being trafficked.
I would say at least more than half. And that's a guess. Let me show you what I would like if I could get it.
Come in here with a John and say what? Hey, I really want a purse.
Yeah.
Get recorded here.
Oh, taking 60 photos a second. Is that okay? So,
Damn, that nigga right there lives in a shell.
how much?
That's about
Thank you.
5,000. But a lot of the times, these are very wealthy people. So if you go on a call, you're always checking out the watches. You want to see if the man has any money. And one of the telltale signs is, what is his watch? If he had one of these, and you were up to date on your information on what model it is, and they're always worth $150,000, $200,000, $500,000. Just depends on what you're looking at.
Could you tell a real from a fake Rolex at the time?
I had to.
Would this humanize the experience of being trafficked? Would you feel good about yourself when you get a tip like this?
I'm telling you, shopping therapy was my thing.
And as we were walking, this lady recognized Annie and commended her for the work she's done speaking on this topic. Oh, there you go. You've seen her stuff? There you go. That's cool. That's awesome. She supports the mission. That's pretty cool. In addition to housing, rehabilitating, and educating survivors of human trafficking, Annie also does outreach here on the Strip.
These are for women that are working and have traffickers on the Strip that need help. You know, we would hand it to someone that's working, like, oh, thank you. And then they open it up and look and they see, oh, wow, they gave me some cute jewelry. Oh, hand sanitizer, fuzzy socks, obviously a care bag. I have my phone number in here and a cute little Bible, but I always put this, read me.
Read me.
And this is the sex trafficking wheel. Sex trafficking is coercion, threats, intimidation, emotional abuse, economic abuse, physical abuse, sexual abuse. Emotional abuse is the biggest piece of this, and physical, obviously.
What if a pimp sees this?
Like, well, not good.
So you're gonna get beaten.
There's a possibility she could. I probably have had more than 15 friends or 20 friends either get murdered, overdosed, die of a disease, all from the game. If they want to hurt you, they're going to make it happen. One of my girlfriends, she was down in an illegal brothel. Of course, it was not legal. And a customer walked in, I should say a buyer. He walked in and said, where's so-and-so? And she goes, I'm right here. And he pulled out a gun and shot her in the head.
Why?
She was a hit because she had left her pimp. He killed her. That's what happens when you leave. You cannot just walk away. I literally overdosed. Tomorrow is my OD date, August 2nd, 2003.
So you tried to kill yourself?
I didn't mean to. It just kind of happened.
Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus.
I didn't want to live anymore. It was a horrible, horrible time in my life.
Do a lot of women look towards drugs to numb the pain of it all?
It's an escape, yes. It numbs the emotional pain and the physical pain of the abuse. And it could be anything from cocaine, meth, pot, to pills, to whatever is out there. Fentanyl, I thank God fentanyl wasn't out there when I was out there, because my drug of choice was cocaine. We're gonna find somebody that's selling escorts out in public.
What will you do once we find them?
I'm gonna talk to him. Oh, there she is, right there. There she is. I knew
She
it.
know too.
Huh?
She know. She was in a.
Hi, miss. Can I have one of those cards? Thank you.
Thank you. So we have $50 a night?
I like your shirt. I like the color. I don't know if you know this or not. These girls on these cards, they're not being treated very nice. They have pimps. I used to be one of those girls. That's why I say that. Okay. Will you get in trouble, Maria, if you don't pass them out? Yeah.
Okay.
She wants me to write my number down for her.
Any thoughts?
I'll write it for you.
What situation is this woman in?
She's probably illegal. She can't work a normal job, so she has to do this job. And part of doing this job is...
She's not, she making no sense, but you don't just believe shit like that, but you listen. But it's a chance of that being true.
Making sure she
A high chance.
passes out all the cards. Or the girl right there just passed us. It's possible.
Possible?
And girls who dressing like that, that's kind of normal these days. Like, I don't know, back in the day, like, girls just walked around half naked, but yeah. Some innocent women, like, I ain't gonna say innocent, but some women that's not fucking will walk around looking like they be fucking the whole city.
Passed us, yeah.
Why do you think so few people have spoken out?
Because of fear. Fear of death, fear of retaliation, fear of the judgment of people. Because once you tell your story, all your guts are laid out on the table. And everybody can criticize you because they know your background now. But it's not fair because it's so one-sided.
Did your family and loved ones know you were in the industry when you were?
No.
No?
I lied to them.
Have you ever re-interacted with your old pimp?
Yes,
Yeah?
both of them actually.
Were those violent interactions? Are they still mad at you? Or
The first time I saw my first ex-trafficker,
yeah.
I was at a nightclub called Daisy's, and I was getting my car out of LA, and I was just going through chemotherapy. I had lost all my hair. I was wearing wigs, and I was very sick with cancer.
Okay.
And he came up behind me, and he said, "I need to tell you that I'm sorry." And I lifted my head, and my heart was racing, racing, because I thought he was gonna hit me.
Yeah.
Because the last time I had seen
That's
him, I had
crazy.
left him, and I was at a nightclub called Shark Nightclub, and he had taken me in the back with the bouncer and beat the living crap out of me because I left him. And he walked up behind me and he said, I'm really sorry for what I've done to you. I'm ashamed of myself, and I just need to ask for your forgiveness.
I don't know if he be doing that face on purpose, but he look interested as fuck. Like he very interested in like what she's saying.
He said, "You're the best woman I've ever had in my life."
Did you believe him?
I did. He said he was sorry, and I cried. I cried, and you were asking earlier, why do I do what I do now? Because it brings my life meaning. And to let these ladies know that they're loved and that they don't have to sell their body for a living, and that God loves them and forgives them, and that he was never mad at them, and no one has a right to shame them or victim blame them or make them feel like they're smaller than they are, because they're beautiful, resilient women that have, to me, they're the most powerful women in the world.
Do you wish you had...
for a living? You know what I mean? Like, that's just not right. Like, why would you do that to another human being? Especially if they have feelings and they have a heart. And so for me, it's like the day that I overdosed, I realized what I had done with myself. I was like, oh my gosh, I almost took my own life because I was so devastated because I had lost everything I made. The pimps got every single dollar. I had nothing to show for anything. And when you get to that low point in your life, it's like I told you about that guy that jumped off the parking garage. Yeah. He lost $100,000. This is a true story. This is not gossip. He lost $100,000 and he couldn't tell his wife, so he killed himself. And I understand.
Hey man, this nigga playing that music in the back. This is just a regular story, but yeah.
Stand that shame. He couldn't.
Ain't no regular story, but like.
Bring himself to tell his wife, I lost our savings. He would rather kill himself. That's the point I was at. I didn't want my family to know. You keep everything you do totally secret. You don't let anyone know what you're doing because it is so shame-filled. It's part of the enemy's plan. The devil wants us to believe that we're nothing, that we're worthless, that we're a piece of junk, that we're nasty, dirty, disgusting, but that's not the truth at all. My soul's been forgiven. I've been cleansed, and I am beautiful in his sight. And when
you are beautiful and wonderfully made, God says. Damn, I forgot that scripture, but yeah.
He looks at me, he always says, you're my girl. I love you. That's the words I wanted my dad to tell me my whole life. Hear my dad tell me he's proud of me. So, I hope he sees me now.
Yeah. While Annie found peace in her relationship.
Dang, bro, that's all y'all need for all them females that's out there just going through it. Y'all just need y'all father to, bruh. Bruh. Oh, y'all mother, bruh, if y'all see this, bruh, this is like, I know y'all are female and we niggas, and it's just hard. It's not hard, but it's easier to say than do stuff. But just move slow, move smart. But first thing, keep your faith in your creator, God, Jesus Christ. Keep your faith. Keep faith. I don't know how to say it.
Relationship with God, she also ended up getting married. I met up with her and her husband Oz the next night to hear his perspective on Annie's life story.
We met on MySpace.
Okay, that's magical. You guys have been married for how long?
14 years.
14 years. Did you think this was ever going to happen?
I always felt like there was something better and somebody was gonna love me. I knew it deep down in my heart, but I know that was a God direction, that God was showing me that. So most girls don't have that compass like I did, unfortunately. How does a man love someone that's...
Yeah, like, people don't understand, like, even though nothing, it's only one you, bro. Like, nobody can't be another you. Even if you got an identical twin, bro, it's only one of y'all, bro. When you leave this earth, ain't gonna be another one of you to ever come back to be like you. It's only one of you, bro.
Been with thousands upon thousands upon thousands of men, has been pimped for almost 18 years. How does a man love someone like that?
I mean, everything Annie just said obviously is from her perspective. But the cool thing is my life is based on faith. And I saw God do so many great things in my life. My prayers were all about, like, if God...
Bro, I swear, older people take pictures of everything, bro. Like, they not used to these cameras. Like, we don't take pictures of nothing like just like that. Like, we gonna take a picture of ourselves.
wanted me to be with somebody else, he would hit me over the head with someone. It was evident that she went above and beyond the list. You can't hear stories that she tells and not get upset, angry, and, you know, want to do something to that person.
How have you come to reconcile with even some of the dark parts of her past and some of the wrongs that have been done to her?
All I have to say is what's happened with her, she went through for a reason.
Yeah.
And we don't know that reason. God knows the reason.
If there's a girl who's in a situation you were in years ago, is there light at the end of the tunnel?
There is not only light at the end of the tunnel, there is a celebration because now there's freedom and they just need to hang on. They just go call 702-883-5155 and then go to hookersforjesus.net or pinkchair.org. Get a hold of us and we will help you. And please donate to us because we do need help. We are a survivor-led agency.
Also, whoever has the most viewed TikTok or YouTube
Alright, man,
short...
that's gonna cap it out, bro. That was quicker than the first time I watched it. I must have been more in depth the first time I watched it. That was the second time I reacted to it. So like, damn.